జూమ్ ఇంత దగ్గర కాదు, లాంగ్ ఉండాలి. ఫోటోగ్రాఫర్స్ వెళ్ళండి. పదండి పదండి. Make some description more. ఇక్కడ ఆపుతారు. Straight cam, अच्छा. చాలా మంది వెళ్ళిపోయారు అంటే బ్యాక్ సైడ్ ఇంతమంది రాకూడదు.
మీరు అందరూ అందరూ ఎదురుగా అలా ముందుగా వద్దు మీరు మంత్రి గారు కట్టవచ్చు.
Good morning, one and all. Request all the gathering keep your mobiles in silent during national anthem. Till the meeting is over, mobile is switch off, please. I request His Excellency, Honorable Vice President of India and other dignitaries and guests gathered here to stand for national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Very good morning to His Excellency, Honorable Vice President of India, dignitaries on petrochemical industries with a clear focus on skill development, technology support, academic and research and development. Honorable Vice President of India, His Excellency Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu Garu, by honoring him with bouquet, shawl and memento. Thank you, sir. We are also privileged with the guest presence of Honorable Minister of Endowments, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Vellampalli Srinivas Rao Garu. May I request Shri Chinta Shekhar, Head of CPETS CSTS, Vijayawada, to welcome our Honorable Minister by honoring him with bouquet, shawl and memento. Now I invite Dr. B. Srinivasulu, Principal, honoring with bouquet and shawl. Thank you, sir. With the permission of Chair, let us start the function.
Subhodayam, Suprabhatam, good morning to all of you. Honorable Vice President of India, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu sir, Honorable Minister for Endowments, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri V. Srinivas Rao sir, my dear colleague Shri Dr. S. K. Nayak, DG CPET, Principal Director Mr. R. Rajendran, ladies and gentlemen, my dear students and friends from media. It is my privilege to welcome Honorable Vice President of India at Vijayawada, which is known as commercial, political, educational and media capital of Andhra Pradesh. This city was recognized as Global City of the Future by McKinsey quarterly. City of Vijayawada has emerged as educational hub in recent times, and that's why we are here, sir. CPET, which is a star institute of Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, is dedicated for its STAR, star activities, where S stands for skilling, T for technology support, A for academics, and R for research. Sir, I am happy to inform you that during the last 5 years, CPET has trained more than 3 lakh students and provided around 3.6 lakh technology support services to the industry. It has an ambitious target of imparting training of 5 lakh youths and providing 5 lakh technology support services to the industry in the next 5 years as per the vision document 2019-24. you have a spare time to visit CPET Vijayawada, whose foundation stone was laid by none other than you only, sir, on 22nd April 2016. Sir, the CPET Vijayawada campus is functional from 24 September 2019. And in spite of challenges being faced due to pandemic COVID-19, the center is successfully operating by following social distancing and COVID-related guidelines. Sir, I am happy to inform you that considering the potential of the state, we are in the process of establishing another center of CPET at Nellore, Andhra Pradesh, for which we have got in principle approval from state government, sir. The AP government is in the process of allotting the land to CPET. The land has been identified and very soon we are hopeful to get the clearances, sir, the order from the state government. Honorable sir, on behalf of Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, as well as on behalf of CPET, I once again welcome you for visiting the center. Your kind presence means a lot, sir, for us. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Excellency Honorable Vice President of India, Sri M. Venkaiah Naidu, Sir, Mr. V. Srinivas Rao, Honorable Minister, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Joint Secretary, Mr. Jhaji, Mr. Rajendran, my colleague, Dr. Srinivasulu, Kiran Kumar, my colleague, Head of Vijayawada, Mr. Chinta Sekhar, all the industrialists here, students. It's really a great honor. I can't believe it. I mean, we are so proud today that we have got the opportunity to see His Excellency Vice President of India in this place, which has its life because of him. I remember the day the inauguration was done, it was very hot, extremely hot, and sir came with a lot of pain, but he was there from starting to the beginning. Sir, I'll take this opportunity to tell you a short story about this institute, how it started, how it was getting closed. Government of India told we cannot afford to run it, and how it revived. And today we can proudly say it is a self-sustainable institute for last 10 years, sir. We have been surviving within our own resource, thanks to the industry, thanks to the students, thanks to the faculty, and definitely to the Government of India. So my topic will be a successful journey towards Atmanirbharta. Sir, we were initially Central Institute of Plastics Engineering and Tools. It started long back, 68. The then Vice President of India, Sri R. Venkataraman, was the source of inspiration to start it at Chennai under the UNDP assistance as a small polytechnic institute. And this is how it had a very humble beginning. And it was a very initial mandate to do some polytechnics in toolings and plastics. And suddenly 7 more centers came across the country: Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bhubaneswar, Mysore, Bhopal, Lucknow, Amritsar, without any ICT, without NBA, without university, same program, same place. And slowly the center started sinking because of lot of issues. Government could not afford to pay salaries, allowance, revised pay, gratuity, pay commission, salary to casuals, to contract employments, loan to OPEC, power tariff maintenance cost goes up. There was a decline in industrial growth, and government was no other option to have a sunset clause. So that was the stage when the CPET was little problem. And when this happened, we finally realized, Government of India realized that after an income of 178.63, they had expenditure of 280.16 audited and a loss of 101.53 crore. And that is how the department thought it will be difficult for us to run this. This is the time when IPCL was privatized from the same ministry. Then we understood that the entire revenue is coming from a mere training. and that's the training fee is highly subsidized. How can such an institute run with training, a technical training, and industry is not there? So probably that was the loss. So what we did, sir, so out of 1 rupee we earn 87 paisa from training and 13 paisa from other source. So sir, we had only two options, either accept the challenge or close the institute. This was the two options CPET had. That time it was Central Institute of Plastic Engineering and Technology. We started doing the brainstorming with the team of CPET. We had our unions are there everywhere, the unions, All India Officers Union, Staffs Union, SC/ST Union, minority unions. Then we talked to the industries. We called the industry. What should we do? We had a lot of brainstorming. And then we decided we must go for a complete refurbishing, a big diversifications. And the logo changed to probe, let's do research, perform the activities, practice plastics. Probe, perform, practice and plastics. Sir, with this, the star word came. Skill, technology, academic and research, where all the Government of India initiatives, Skill India, Make in India, Startup India, Digital India, everything was taken in the whole petrochemical domain. And we decided, with the Government of India decided that we must expand further. The bigger you are, you can handle bigger challenges. And we categorized the institute into, we didn't do the same things. We do CPET IPT, CPET CSTS, CPET SARP. IPT, Institute of Plastics Technology, I'll tell what is what. Then we CSTS, Center for Skilling, then SARP, Advanced Research, like this, then the waste management. So we spread across different areas of, based on the industry need, and we also focused on plastics waste management centers. Today, this is the only institute in the country, I can tell you, sir, it takes care of the entire NSQF level from 1 to 10. Sir, 10 is for PhD program, the highest. This is happening in CPET with all top-notch universities. Then it is 8 and 9, all UG, BTech and MTech programs. It is all happening in CPET. Then it is 4, 5, 6 and 7. It's again happening with all certifications of NSQF guidelines. And finally, the skill 1, 2, 3, 4. You go to IIT, you go to NIT, you go to Central University, you will have 1 or 2 scales. Sir, with your blessings, this is probably the only institute in the country to have scale from 1 to 10, completely taking care of NSQF guidelines from 1 to 10 under one roof, different categories, IPT, CSTS and SAR. Sir, by this, what has happened? Industry needs semi-skilled operator, skilled operator. So we are giving for the shop floor. We are also giving diploma, post-diploma, it gives the middle management. Then you want BTech, MTech, don't run like a college. We run from 6 to 2, 2 to 10, 10 to 6. Because the student goes to the industry, he is already acquainted with the type of machines and timing also. So modernized as per industry need. Then we modernized testing as per industry need. And today all the laboratories are accredited by NABL, all the laboratories across the country to support the industry for supplying and procurement of materials. Sir, as per industry need, the tool room just now you saw, defense components, Hindustan aeronautic components, big industry components we are developing and give ordnance factory and supplying in the Atmanirbhar concept. Sir, we have the state-of-art designing. Due to paucity of time, you could not see, it was there in Vijayawada also. We are also working on plastic waste management, sir. We are already having a model plant in Guwahati. 4 plants are coming. This we will not run. We will run it for 6 months. We will do the handholding and give it to the industry. And industry will run it. Varanasi, Bengaluru, Patna and Ahmedabad. Sir, the technology support also, sir, we have 3 R&D labs. One in Bengaluru, one in Chennai, one in Bhubaneswar. Each R&D labs does research, not research, applied research, which goes directly to the industry. Whether the work in agriculture, automotive, packaging, clean water, alternate power, healthcare, waste management, product development. These are the areas current research are being done. with the support of these top-notch universities with whom we have signed the MOU. And we transport the technology to the industries. These are the technology which has been transferred to various automobile industries, sir. These are the things which has again gone to the coatings and adhesives, marine coatings. All this goes to the industry, which gives us resource to survive.
నిర్వర్తించారు. శ్రీ వెంకయ్య నాయుడు గారు 1949 జూలై 1వ తేదీన నెల్లూరు జిల్లాలోని చవటపాలెం అనే గ్రామంలో వ్యవసాయ కుటుంబంలో రంగయ్య నాయుడు రమణమ్మ దంపతులకు జన్మించారు. ప్రాథమిక విద్యను జిల్లా పరిషత్ హై స్కూల్ బుచ్చిరెడ్డిపాలెం నందు పూర్తి చేశారు. నెల్లూరులోని బిఆర్ కాలేజ్ నుంచి రాజకీయ మరియు డిప్లొమాటిక్ అధ్యయనాలలో బ్యాచిలర్ డిగ్రీని అభ్యసించారు. విశాఖపట్నంలోని ఆంధ్ర యూనివర్సిటీ కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ లా నుండి ఇంటర్నేషనల్ లాలో స్పెషలైజేషన్తో బ్యాచిలర్ డిగ్రీని పొందారు. 1974వ సంవత్సరంలో ఆయన ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్కు చెందిన అవినీతి నిరోధక జయప్రకాష్ నారాయణ ఛత్ర సంఘర్ష సమితికి కన్వీనర్ అయ్యారు. తన ప్రజా వృత్తిలో చాలా ప్రశంసలను పొందారు. ఇప్పుడు మన గౌరవ ఉపరాష్ట్రపతి శ్రీ వెంకయ్య నాయుడు గారు తమ సందేశం ఇస్తారు.
సహజంగా ఉంటాను కానీ సింపుల్గా వస్తుందా ఆటోమేటిక్ దాకా ఓకే. Honorable Minister, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Velampalli Srinivas Rao, Joint Secretary, Government of India, Sri Kasinath Jha, Director General CPET, Professor S.K. Nayak, Principal Director, New Projects, CPET Headquarters, Sri Rajendran, in charge of the CPET Vijayawada, Sri Shekhar, other members of the CPET family, my dear students, trainees, sisters and brothers. I am extremely happy to be here, to go around the campus, to know the progress and growth of this institution, and then to interact with the trainees. It's really a very good, wonderful, happy moment for me. నాకు మనసులో చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. ఎందుకంటే నేను ఆలోచించి ప్రయత్నం చేసి సహచర మంత్రిని ఒప్పించి ఆర్థిక మంత్రితో మాట్లాడి బడ్జెట్లో ఆమోదం పొందింపజేసి శంకుస్థాపన చేసి నా సంస్థకు ఇవాళ వచ్చి అది పెద్దదై పుష్పించి పరిడవిల్లి ఇవాళ లాభసాటిగా తయారైన సిపెట్లో ఒక భాగస్వామిగా తయారవుతున్న సంస్థకు వచ్చి దాని పురోగతిని తెలుసుకొని నిర్మాణం జరిగిన యొక్క సౌకర్యాలను పరిశీలించి శిక్షణ పొందుతున్న యొక్క యువ సాంకేతిక నిపుణులు ఔత్సాహికమైన యొక్క యువత ఎవరున్నారో వాళ్ళతో కాసేపు మాట్లాడేందుకు అవకాశం లభించడం నాకు చాలా సంతోషంగా. I'm extremely happy because I could see the vision of the Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi, is taking shape here in these workshops and these laboratories, and the future of India, the younger generation of this region, particularly Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, getting trained here and then getting entrepreneurial skills and then getting job opportunities is definitely happy news to me, because when the state was divisioned into two states, my worry was at the time most of the industries, business, revenue was all located in headquarters, naturally, state capital, Hyderabad. So this new state, how it will survive? So that was the worry. I was in the government, so I could persuade my colleagues, impress upon the Prime Minister, and get a number of institutions sanctioned, around 36 or so, to the state of Andhra Pradesh. 36 institutions to a new state was a record. So I was, I recall that happy moment. I was discussing, I called all the 35 ministers of the government of India and started talking to them, with each one of them, tell me what can you do for my state. They were all surprised, senior minister calling us and all. And then I said, what are the schemes available in your ministry? So for that I studied the schemes of every ministry. Not only ministers, I discussed with officers also, different officers. Came to know what is there, what is possible, what is feasible. And then one after another, we got those institutions sanctioned. And those institutions, of course, number of projects or number of other initiatives are in good number. Some of them were started already, railways, for example, introducing a new train. That's all things which could be done easily, and they have been done. But institution, as an institution, I am happy the first institute to take full shape and then get operationalized after the sanction. And after myself coming over here and laying foundation with other my colleague, Sri Ananta Kumar, who was really helpful in getting this sanction for Vijayawada. So naturally, I am very happy that has become a reality, and I could see the progress, and I could interact with these students. This bearing fruit, the tree bearing fruits, what do you say? మనం అంటాం కదా, మనం వేసే చెట్టు పెద్దదై పెరిగి పుష్పించి కాయలు కాస్తే చూస్తే సంతోషం కదా, అంతటి సంతోషం నాకు ఇవాళ మనసులో కలుగుతూ ఉంది. I recall the prompt response of my colleague at the time. Sri Ananta Kumar is no more, unfortunately. He died in a young age. He took initiative and then suggested to me from his ministry, chemical and fertilizers. These are some of these things, but he said the government is not in a mood to expand normally. Then I persuaded him, and then I called Finance Minister, late Arun Jaitley, who was again kind enough to get this approved and put it in the list of the budget announcements and all. That's how this became a reality. That's why I said I am very, very happy. And secondly, my dear friends, just now the Director General made a detailed presentation. I was very happy to know about the progress made by CPET, the initiatives and the excellent work done by our officers, our scientists, our technicians, in collaboration with various stakeholders, and then make a turnaround from loss making to profit making, and then providing a wonderful opportunity for the country. That story is really inspiring. This is how each and every department, ministries and officers should work, reorient their thinking, and then reshape things, reorganize, because that is the need of the hour. And then, friends, these petrochemicals, they really play a wonderful role. This institute is contributing, CPET overall, is contributing to the national growth, to the national development through its diversified activities in the area of skilling programs, technical support services, and academics and research development, multi-focused, multi-dimensional. The future is skilling. The future is skilling because India population is huge. You have disparities, economic, in spite of so much progress made. So you have 65% of the country below 35 years and 50% of the country below 50 years. You need to provide them employment. You need to provide them livelihood. So the best way is skilling. Skilling the youth. That is the top priority the country should have. I am happy that the present Prime Minister has created a skill development ministry and giving more focus on skilling. These polymers are a wonder material. The presentation that has been made and the labs, workshops I visited shows how you can do wonders. Because the wonders are to increase the quality of life. That is the purpose. This is becoming an important part of the global economy. So we should not lag behind because these polymers are low weight, durable, resourceful, and comparatively affordable. Affordable, durable, low weight, and resourceful. What else you need? So that's why I say it's a wonderful material. If you look around, you would find plastic everywhere. It is ubiquitous. It is in your wristwatch, your pen, your mobile phone, your computer, your kitchen, or your car. So many things we have seen, even right from the police helmet to the lathi to the bottles used. So now plastic has become really indispensable because of its versatility. During this COVID-19 pandemic also, the plastics we have seen just now have made a wonderful role in manufacture of medical protection equipment and PPE kits, which played a significant role in preventing its spread. The disposable plastic syringes, blood bags, gloves, and other medical equipment with enhanced features and functionality have proven their worth during this difficult time. Further, polymer material are also being used widely to create medical tools and devices like insulin pens, IV tubes, catheters, inflatable spirits, implants, and tissue engineering as well. So continuous advancement and developments in polymeric material as well as cost-effective manufacturing techniques have led plastic to replace the conventional material in different walks of life. The average national consumption of polymer is roughly 12 kilograms per capita per year. India is currently ranked among the top 5 consumers of polymers in the world and has around 30,000 plus plastic processing units employing over 4 million people across the country. Today, my dear youngsters, polymers are an integral part of petrochemical sector. with its demand growing at the rate of 8%. It is expected that the polymer sector will account for 20% of the total oil consumption and 15% of the global annual carbon budget by 2050. The global petrochemical industry has experienced more than 15 years of strong growth, with the global market size projected to reach $958.8 billion by 2025, expanding at an annual rate, as I explained to you, of more than 8% or 8.5%. The petrochemical demand in India is expected to grow at 7.5% annually by the year 2023. So various government programs like Make in India, Startup India, Stand Up India, Digital India will go a long way in creating the ecosystem for the next generation research and indigenous technology advancement in petrochemical sector. The Prime Minister has given a call, 3-line mantra. He said mantra: reform, perform and transform. Reformation, how it can make a turnaround, growth. You have just heard the story. So you have to reform every sector. And reforms or technology advancement, science, research is for the betterment of the lives of the people. This has to be understood. It is not only simply providing employment to some thousands or lakhs of people. It is a question of making people's life more comfortable. हर एक व्यक्ति के जीवन में जो सुविधा और सुधार और संतोष लाने के लिए जो प्रयास हो रहे हैं, इसमें पेट्रोकेमिकल्स का, पॉलीमर्स का और इस क्षेत्र में जो प्रगति हो रही, उसका भूमिका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. इसलिए मित्रों, ये longevity and durability have posed several challenges to our environment. This is also an important aspect. Convenience items that are intended for single use are being continuously discarded to the landfills, littering and our landscapes, thereby creating threats for aquatic and marine life. If you go to the beaches, some of the beaches you can find plastic finding a way and then sea trying to throw it. So it is affecting the biotic life. And also improper littering habits and lack of awareness on plastic waste management has resulted in many environmental hazards. ఈ వాతావరణంలో వస్తున్న మార్పులు, ఆ సవాళ్లకు ఈ సింగిల్ ప్లాస్టిక్ కూడా మనకి కారణభూతం అవుతుంది. అందుకని ఈ విషయం పైన దృష్టి సారించాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. దీన్ని ప్లాస్టిక్ని వాడడంలో కాదు, దానికి వాడకం నిషేధించడంలో కాదు దానికి సమాధానం. దాన్ని సక్రమంగా బాధ్యతతో ఉపయోగించుకొని మళ్ళా పునరుత్పత్తిని పెంచే ప్రయత్నం చేయాలి. So these bad management in many ways have created health hazards, environmental hazards. The solution is not to avoid plastics, but to ensure that it is used responsibly and recycled properly. People's mindset will change only through sustained awareness campaign, continuous awareness, जन जागृति. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. जनता में जागृति पैदा करें तो तभी परिवर्तन होगा. अदरवाइज केवल सरकार के प्रयासों के द्वारा आप सफल नहीं हो पाए. ఈ సింగిల్ యూజ్ ప్లాస్టిక్ వలన ఎంతటి నష్టం కలుగుతూ ఉంది, మానవాళికి ఎంత ఉపద్రవం కలగబోతుంది అనే విషయాలను మనం ప్రజలను చైతన్యవంతం చేయాల్సి ఉంది. We are bound to leave a planet with clean and green for our children. That is our duty. ప్రకృతి నుంచి మనకు సంపాదించబడిన మనకు లభించిన ఆ సంపద ఏతుందో దాన్ని మన తరం రాబోయే తరానికి అందించాలి. ఇది మన కర్తవ్యం. అదర్వైజ్ వీఆర్ స్పాయిలింగ్ దేర్ ఫ్యూచర్. Climate change is real. World over, challenges we are seeing, its effect we are seeing, including the present pandemic. So you have to be friendly with the nature, culture, together for better future. This has to be understood by all. ప్రకృతితో స్నేహంగా ఉండాలి, ప్రకృతిని ప్రేమించాలి, ప్రకృతి నిన్ను ప్రేమిస్తుంది, లేకపోతే ప్రేమ వికటిస్తుంది. నేను వివరంగా చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. So the need of the hour is to follow best practices of plastic waste management. We need to spread awareness about 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. A mass media campaign is needed. It is the duty of the central government, state government and various institutions to create awareness about this. People should be taught about the importance of segregation of waste for recycling. Media, civil society organizations, students and other activists should be an integral part of this awareness drive. Media plays an important role in creating awareness among the people, the negative effects, and if you recycle and make proper use, the positive effects. This has to be explained. We have the example of Swachh Bharat mission, which has successfully brought about desired changes in people's approach towards sanitation and open defecation. A similar nationwide campaign is required to educate people on single-use plastics. This should turn into a people's movement. इसको एक जन आंदोलन का रूप देना चाहिए. वो जन आंदोलन तभी सफल होगा जब जनता का सोच में परिवर्तन आएगा. पहले उनको मालूम होना चाहिए ना क्या करना है, क्या उपयोग है, क्या हानिकारक है. तो इसलिए मेरा सुझाव ये है, इंक्लूडिंग सिपेट के साथ ही साथ सभी एजेंसीज जनता में जागृत पैदा करने के लिए अपना काम के साथ प्रयास भी करना चाहिए. It should be noted that waste management presents a golden opportunity for our entrepreneurs. It is estimated that the waste management market in India will reach around $13.62 billion by 2025. Waste management. While the plastic recycling market in India is estimated to grow at a rate of 6.5% to attain a market size of $53.72 billion by the end of 23. So probably that is why the term waste to wealth. Nothing is waste. You can convert the waste into wealth. So this is becoming a accepted popular parlance. I'm happy the CPET has been at the forefront of taking necessary steps to educate and encourage people to recycle, repurpose and reuse plastic items. It is praiseworthy. The CPET has established a model plastic waste management center at Guwahati, which focus on offering skill development training programs in the areas of plastic recycling and waste management. I am told the institute also has made contribution to the expert committee of the Department of Chemicals, Petrochemicals on single-use plastics to bring effective solutions. This is good. The committee has given good suggestions. These suggestions has to be implemented fully. One of the major strengths of the polymers, this industry, is the availability of the raw material, which can be manufactured domestically. This is a major advantage that will only help the growth of Indian polymer industry. This current trend in India's plastic exports seems highly encouraging. The Indian plastic export industry has always offered excellent potential in terms of capacity, infrastructure and skilled manpower. So just now it was explained, our CPET boys and girls, wherever they are trained, they are finding opportunities everywhere. Because one thing I want to tell you, in India, in this soil, this air, this water, this land, there is something special. There is inherent knowledge among Indian youth. What you need is identify their aptitude. Train them and skill them, then they will excel. That is the story. See, in the IT sector also worldwide, top names, Indian names are there. From Nadia Satya to Sundar Joy, lot of people. Why? Why? Because there is inherent knowledge. Identify the knowledge and give them skill upgradation. In this, the CPET have an important role. I am told the research wing of the CPET cater to various sectors such as aerospace, automotive, agriculture and health. I would like to impress upon the CPET, the officials and management, please focus more and enough on agriculture sector. You need to reduce the cost of agriculture inputs. That is the major issue. It appears to you that the price of the government offers price and also market. Sometimes the agriculture producers have become remunerative at all. But understand, the input cost also is going up. So you have to focus. Cost effect. How to reduce the cost. The research wings should really play an important role in that. BEL, HAL, NTPC, these are all industries where you are being very helpful. The implementation and validation of innovative and futuristic ideas is also very important. Testing is done, most of the things. By testing, you validate the product and then it gets attractive demand in the market. I understand more than 50 major research projects have been completed. Over 300 research papers were published in international journals and conferences, and 12 patents were filed by CPET. My compliments to all the people who are responsible for these achievements. But I would urge upon you on the development of eco-friendly products, such as biodegradable plastics, so as to balance environment and development. They should be complementary to each other. This is also important. Friends, as I told you, we have a demographic dividend, we have a young population, we have youngsters with enthusiasm and knowledge. We must provide them the needed skills. You have been doing good work through various skill training programs, diploma, graduate and postgraduate, PhD programs also for serving different tiers of the industry. Please focus more and more. I am told last 5 years, around 3.50 lakh technology support assignments have been undertaken, benefiting the industry in establishing new technologies and products in relevant areas. More than 3 lakh unemployed, underemployed youth have been trained and they were all benefited through CPET's developmental programs. So this new education policy, the CPET's educational pattern already falls in line with the requirements of newly reformed education policy 2020, which focus on skill and application-based learning. That is what is required. Skill and application-based learning. So CPET has already taken diligent initiatives for reframing the course's curriculum, implement NEP 2020 effectively. I am happy CPET Center here in Andhra Pradesh, which was, the foundation was laid in April 22nd, 2016, exactly 4.5 years. This has come up very well. I'm happy about the progress. The new campus and the offering courses will be. At the same time, you should keep in mind, is it fashion or comfort? To make her to understand, I use the Telugu word, Amma, Saundaryama, Saukaryama. Saundaryama means attractive, beautiful and all. Saukaryama means comfort. Understand Telugu? Saundaryama, Saukaryama. Saundaryam కోసం